Hello, my name is Brian. I am the maker here at Wild Timber Company. And on this video, we're going to show you how to assemble the rocker arch. I want to say thank you to everyone who purchased. We'll jump in and go over some of the basics. I've got some tricks at the end, so please make sure you watch this entire video before you start assembling. And then the second time we go through it, go ahead and assemble as we're going. But again, please watch the entire video and don't just jump in and start to build it on your own. We've got ways to make it level, nice and clean. So we want to start with a nice level surface. So go ahead and work on a table. Please do not work on carpet. It's got some padding on there. You're going to get an unlevel arch if you assemble it on carpet. You should receive two sides. You've got 12 rungs. We've put 50 screws in the bag for you. The bag will look something like this. Got two extras just in case you strip a screw. Keep in mind on a Phillips screwdriver, which you're going to need, we use the number 3, not the number 2 Phillips. So if you have a number 2 driver, just be very, very careful. It will fit in, but a number 3 is a little better. Now, I do like to use an impact driver. It is different from a drill. It will help speed things along and make sure that you get a nice tight fit. But again, you can do the whole thing with a screwdriver, just this is a little easier for you. We've also included some glue, some Titebond glue. At the very, very end, to assemble the plugs that we've given you, I do like to use a flat wood surface and a hammer, and I'll kind of go over how those are put in. That way they're nice and flush with the top side of the wood. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's how I like to set everything up. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put the screws very lightly into the wood just so that they're setting in there. Do not penetrate and go through the other side, but I'm going to go ahead and put all of my screws in ever so gently, and we'll go from there. Okay, so once you've got all the screws in, you want to make sure that none of them have broken through the back. Mine are pretty good. If for some reason that you have broken through, make sure you back them out, especially if you're working on your dining room table or something. You don't want to scratch your tables. You might want to put down a blanket or something just for this step, just to make sure you don't scratch your table. But I'm going to back some of these out just a little bit because I can feel that some of it went through. Be careful, the screws are sharp, so you want to move very, very slowly. Okay, so once you've got all your screws in, we're going to go ahead and set the sides off to the side. I want to talk to you about the rungs that go into the arch rocker real fast. We have a 6-color, 4-color, and nude rungs. Depending on which one you've bought, you really have a choice as to how you want to assemble them, but I like to lay them out in the order that they're going to go into the rocker. On a 4-color process, we go from dark to light in assembling any of the ramps or the climbers. Again, top to bottom, darkest colors at the top, lightest colors on the bottom. On a rocker arch, literally the direction that you're flipping it, it could be the darkest in the middle down to the outside, or the darkest on the outside to the inside. On the rainbow, keep in mind we run from red to purple, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. That's our order. So again, you can run it from outside in, inside out. It is entirely up to you. On the nude colors, I really love to see the graining, the natural markings that are in the wood. So I'm going to put that on the arch side, not on the rocker side. On the rocker side, my wife and I actually put pillows for our little boy. As he watches TV, he kind of likes to lay on the pillows. So I want to be able to see the wood when it's in its arch form. Now, I put numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and look at these, and I can see I have numbers on the sides of these. So like this is number 6. So I've gone ahead and laid this out, and this is the order that I want to see mine done in. I'm going to leave it just like this because we are going to assemble it in its arch form. So as it's set up in an arch, I'm going to go ahead and split this in half, 6 and 7. Set these off to this side, these here off to this side. Let me scoot these over, and we're going to go ahead and start the assembly. Now, on one side, you are going to go ahead and push those screws through just a hair. I don't like to do that at the beginning. I just want them in place. But now I'm going to go ahead and on this one side, have them peek through approximately 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop each of these through here just a little bit. The reason for that is so that I'm going to be able to see and feel that those are going to hit the holes that are in the rungs. So again, just one side. Go ahead and press those through. Just like that. Just a little bit closer to myself. Okay. Now, don't lay this side down on your table. You're going to scratch up the table. So we're going to lay it down on the threaded side down here just for a second. We're going to start with one of the middle rungs. I'm going to go ahead and just start with this side here using the number 7. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is number 7. I'm going to go ahead and press these through just a little bit. Just a little bit. Grabbing the number 7 rung, we're going to go ahead and again, the holes that are there, there's a slightly larger hole on the outside. It then has a smaller hole that goes all the way through where that screw is going to fit. And we want to make sure that that rung is going to grab those holes. It's nice and flush there. Now I'm going to go ahead and drive these in just a little bit. Okay, very slowly making sure that I'm getting in that hole. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7. That's the side here that matches. Okay, I'm going to make sure that that's nice and flush. I'm going to use my screwdriver. Drive that in ever so slightly, making sure that I'm in that hole. And then go ahead and use the driver to go ahead and finish that. Okay, now that you have this one rung in, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this and show you how to put each of the other ones in. And then we'll speed up the film. You're not going to see me, I'm just going to move a little quicker. This side here, you can see the screws are poking through about 1/8 of an inch up to 1/4 roughly. The reason for that, again, so I'm going to go ahead and touch those holes that are there. It kind of helps me align that one side. As then I bring this other side down, and I want to use my screwdriver. I'm not using my impact driver right now to drive these. I'm just wanting to make sure that we are inside that hole. It is extremely important that we hit that. So what I'm going to do is I'm rocking this and moving it as I'm slowly tightening these screws to make sure that I am hitting that hole. If for some reason, as you're moving it, it stops, then you're probably not hitting the hole. Because that larger hole is right on that outside, you should be able to feel it ever so slightly rock a little bit as you're putting it in. Now, as you tighten it, yes, it is going to go ahead and stop moving. You'll be just fine. But you want to take your time with this to make sure that you've hit that hole. There we go. So I don't want to drive this in and if you miss that hole, you can crack the wood, and then we're going to have some problems. So that's what I'm doing on that side. Again, same thing on this side. Even though I started with this side hitting it, I'm still just going to drive those in just a little bit to make sure that I've hit inside of where that hole is going to be. Then we're going to go ahead and tighten each one of these down. And I'm going to repeat that process every other side as we move down. If you're a musician, kind of like tightening a drum head, we want to rotate this so that your rocker arch stays completely level all the way through this process. Okay? So I just wanted to double check this one. Just a second here. Okay, perfect. And again, I'm going to tighten it just so that it's nice and snug. And you are going to snug each one of them up. I'm not cranking them down, but I am tightening them just to the point of where they're snug on each side. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this back. And I'm going to go ahead and move forward in doing each of these other ones. Okay, now that all the rungs are in, all the screws are tightened down, as long as you've worked on a nice flush surface that's even, you should have a nice even flush arch. If for some reason you do not, and you're getting like a heavy wobble in it, then you need to stop and you can contact us. We could possibly help you. Everything should be pretty even. So for those of you who got a nice even arch just like this, we're going to go ahead and move on to the last and final step, which is really just putting your plugs in and going from there. So let me just show you how to do one. You can go ahead and do the rest. You don't need to see me put each one of them in. I've got some glue. I've got some paper towels just in case, and then a hammer and a flush piece of wood. Kind of show you what we're going to do is put a little dab of glue in there. Just like that. take your plug. You can set the grain however you would like it to be on there. I just kind of press it down a little bit, and then go ahead and use this piece here. Use your hammer and just hammer them. That gets it just nice and flush, just like that. And that's it. Go ahead and put all the rest of your plugs in and have your kid have some fun time. So appreciate it. Bye.